Hello everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you how to make a swept wing in SolidWorks like the one you see here that has a NACA airfoil profile throughout. So in order to do this, I think it's helpful if we first look at the geometry of our swept wing. So we have a base chord length CB and a tip chord length CT. We have a span S and an angle theta that's between our vertical axis and our quarter chord line. Then we also have this parameter ND, which is just the distance between the nose of the base and tip airfoils, and it's defined by this relation. In this tutorial, we're going to be using the NACA 65209 profile for the width of our wing, and then we have these values for our parameters that we just discussed. So let's go ahead and get our airfoil coordinates. We'll get this from the UIUC Airfoil Coordinates database. So we'll go ahead and get the NACA 65209. So click on the .dat and copy all of this data into your clipboard. And then open up an Excel workbook and paste it right in. So you'll notice that our data isn't actually in two columns, it's all in one. So highlight the first column and go to Data, Text to Columns, and make sure you click Fixed Width, and Next, Next, and Finish. So this will separate our data apart, and then enter a 0 in the C column. This is for our Z coordinate, and then double click to populate all the way down. So we have our data for our base airfoil that's on the Z equals 0 plane with its nose at the origin. So go ahead and save this, and save it to wherever you want. I'm just going to call it base. Save it as an Excel sheet, and then also do a file, save as, and save it as a tab delimited file or a .txt, and save it like that. Okay, so there we go. Next, we're going to want to make a copy of this file. So we'll go ahead to our desktop, and I've got this base, so I'm going to make a copy. And I'm going to paste it, and we'll call this tip, because this will be the tip airfoil profile. So go ahead and open that up, and in our Z column here we're going to do negative S for our value, because you see the positive Z is facing downwards, and this tip airfoil is at a distance negative S from the Z equals 0 plane. In our example, S is 2.5. So I'm going to go ahead and populate these with negative 2.5. And double click here to populate all the way down. Then I'm going to go to a new column, and I'm going to insert a formula. So we're going to use a sum, and we're going to sum A1, and then we're going to add to it our value ND, which is 2.65. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and drag this all the way down to the end, just like that, and it populates it automatically. We're also going to add another column to the left of this one. So now, before I go any further, let me explain what I just did here. We had our base airfoil, which had its nose at the origin and was on the Z equals 0 plane. And so what we've done is we've changed the Z column, so now it's on the Z equals negative S plane, and now we're moving the nose a distance of ND. So whatever the X coordinate for this base airfoil was, we've added that value ND along to that to get the CT profile right here. So that's all we've done. Very simple. Once you understand what's going on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this column here, and we're going to copy it. We're going to paste, but we just want to paste the values, not the function. So we can delete that one. We can delete our original coordinates. So now we're left with this transformed or translated airfoil. So we'll go ahead and file, save this one, and then file, save as, and we're going to call this tip. And again, save it as a tab delimited file. Save that. So go ahead and exit out of Excel. It's very critical that you do this, or SolidWorks will throw some errors. and then go ahead and create a new file. And I'm going to change my units to meter kilogram second to be consistent with the drawing we had been looking at earlier. The first thing you're going to want to do is go over here to curves and click curve through XYZ points and browse, and then go to your desktop. Make sure you're looking at text files, and then find this base file that we created and enter that into the menu and click OK. So now you can see we've got our first airfoil curve in here. Do the same thing again, curves, curve through XYZ points, and this time select the tip. OK. And there we go. So you can see we have these two tips, or two airfoil profiles that are staggered, which is just like we want. So go ahead and show the front plane. That's going to be where the first airfoil profile, the base profile, is. Go ahead and create a sketch on that. And zoom in. Click the airfoil and then convert entities. This will make it an actual sketch here. And then we're going to go to Tools and Sketch Tools, Scale. So we want to scale this airfoil about the origin, and we're going to scale it by a certain factor, and that factor is CB, the chord length of the base, and that'll be 1.8. Because when we input these airfoils into SolidWorks, they have a default chord length of 1, so we're just scaling this up to have a chord length of 1.8. So you can press enter, check, and that one is good to go. So then go ahead and create a reference plane. Once you exit the sketch, reference plane, you want it to reference the first plane, and you want it to be a distance of S off of the for the front plane right here. So our distance S here is 2.5 meters. Now it looks like our plane is going in the wrong direction, so just click flip offset, and it should be parallel and in plane with our second airfoil profile. So click check there. You can go ahead and hide the front plane, go normal to your reference plane, and we'll create a sketch. So then click your second airfoil profile and then convert entities, and that will make it into an actual sketch. Then add a point to the very tip of this airfoil and fix it so that it is fully defined and won't be moving anywhere. And then we're going to go ahead and go to Tools again, and we're going to scale the second airfoil. We're going to scale it about this point we just created, and our scaling profile for the tip is CT equals 1.2 meters. So just type in 1.2 and enter, and then check. So now you can exit that sketch. You can hide this first plane, and we'll go back here. Okay, so now we have these two curves, and we can go ahead and hide them because we don't need them anymore. They just show you how the airfoils were scaled. And now the final thing we have to do here is do a lofted boss base. So click the tip of each airfoil and then check, and there we have it. We have our swept wing with our NACA 65209 profile all the way throughout, and it follows the dimensions we put here exactly. So anyways, I hope you all found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please leave a like and a comment, and we'll see y'all next time.